guys, it's Margie, and today I'm doing a movie review of the 1988 film Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. This film starred Steve Martin, Michael Caine, Glenne Headly, Anton Rogers, Barbara Harris, Ian McDiarmid, Dana Ivey, Megan Faye, and Francis Conroy. It was directed by Frank Oz, cinematography by Michael Ballhaus, writing by Dale Launer, Stanley Sharpio, and Paul Henning, music by Miles Goodman, editing by Stephen A. Rotter and William Scharf, and executive producers were Dale Lautner and Charles Hishorn, and produced by Bernard Williams. The basic plot of this movie is Steve Martin is kind of a con man, and he just elicits money from women and people in general and kind of lives life to the fullest. And he runs into Michael Caine, who is also a con man, and they actually con one another. They get very angry at each other because they realize each other's schemes, so they decide to pair up and work together, and something happens while they're paired up to work together, and then they part ways, but they decide to have a competition as to who is the better con man, and whoever is the better con man gets to stay in the area that they were working in together, and whoever is not must leave. And so they see Glenne Headly and decide whoever can con her the best or the quickest or whatever, I can't remember, gets to stay, so it's their competition. Anyway, that's kind of all over the place. Let's jump into performances here. Steve Martin, I thought he crushed it. I did. I thought he had such a great performance, but if you're not a fan, well, okay, even if you are not a fan of Steve Martin, I think you have to give it to him on this one because he was hilarious, and I loved everything he did with the character. So I thought he had a really great performance, and I really enjoyed it. Michael Caine, oh my goodness, when is Michael Caine not a beautiful thing to watch? I mean, let's be honest. He just is so reliable to me as an actor. I just always, if Michael Caine is in it, from the films I've seen, it's like, well, I know he's going to come through. I love those kind of people that you can count on. Crushed it. Absolutely crushed it. I thought he was perfect. He was very suave and debonair and very believable as a con man. No offense, Michael Caine. But I thought he had a great performance. His comedic timing was great, and to me, he hung neck and neck with Steve Martin as far as, screen chemistry and screen presence and all of that kind of thing. So I thought he did really good. Glenne Headly, on the other hand, was the weakest link in this trio to me. She did not blow me away, but she's kind of playing a ditzy, stupid girl, and I guess she was believable in that, but I did think it was a little more annoying. She could have been really stupid but really charming at the same time, and to me it was just kind of lackluster. I don't know. I didn't really enjoy her performance, but maybe it was the role, maybe, I don't know. I just didn't really enjoy it. That's just me. Everybody else that I mentioned did pretty good, no real standouts here among these extras that I can remember. Solidness, though. If they had been really bad, they would have stood out. So, yay! Alright, let's move on to the directing for this. I like the directing for this. And I think that he did a really great job of getting Michael Caine and Steve Martin to feed well off of each other and capturing their good moments, and I really like the directing for this. It could have been so cheesy and so bad, and it actually was not. So I got to give it to Frank Oz. I thought there was some really good moments in this film, actually. The cinematography. I like the cinematography. It didn't wow me, but it wasn't bad. So I thought the cinematography for this was good. I loved all the lighting. It didn't really stand out to me, but if it had been bad, it would have stood out. So there's something to be said for that. The writing for this, I actually liked the writing. I thought that, again, except for Glenne Glenne Headly's character, who just annoyed me, which again, I think part of that was her acting or something, I don't know. Yeah, it just, I don't know, it just didn't really, she didn't get there, or the role, or whatever reason, but, I like the concept for this film, and I think it was a great opportunity to just let Michael Caine and Steve Martin go, and just, play and improv and da-da-da, but, I mean, I liked the writing, I thought it was very good. And I think I thought the concept was good, but well, okay, this is a spoiler, so skip to wherever I say, like right here, and I'll see you in just a mo if you're skipping. If you're not skipping, who did not see the twist at the end? I mean, I totally saw that coming a mile away. I'm like, okay, she's a con man. And it's so, well, it was so predictable to me, but I knew that she wasn't just going to be this sweet little innocent character. I knew that either she was going to be a con man, or Michael Caine and she were in together, or something. I knew there was something fishy going on. I didn't just instantly know that she was a con man, but I did, but I didn't know if she was working alone or not. That was the question for me. There were several directions, though, that they could have gone. With how this movie ended, they could have, had happened what happened, which you obviously know if you're watching this portion of the review, or they could have, had her just, like, ride off into the sunset, or, she turned out not to be a professional, but just somebody who had wised up, or, actually let her be innocent, or, myriads of things. I thought the ending was good, though, I guess. I mean, but again, I saw it coming, so I was like, oh, she's a total con man, like we all can see. At least I could see, but I predict movie endings, so maybe. Did you see? Tell me in the comments. I don't know. Anyway, moving on to the music. The music for this did not blow me away, but again, I thought it fit really appropriately with the movie. As far as like, oh, put this on a playlist, I wouldn't, but again, it went great with the movie, and that's what you need from your composer. Hey, get me some music that fits with this film. I thought he did a really good job, Miles Goodman. Editing. Editing for this, I liked. To me, it really didn't get too draggy until about the last 30 minutes of the film. And then it was like, okay, let's wrap this up. Like, this is getting long. But and a few scenes, conversations toward the end really could have gone, like really could have been X'd, but everything else was great, and I like the pacing of this movie on the whole, especially the first, like, hour. I thought the pacing was really good, because it's just constantly, you're moving with the film, you're not just, like, standing still. I thought that was great. Let's get into the parent's guide for this one, guys. This movie is way better than I thought it was going to be for the parent's guide. Way better. We have very little language. Like practically no language. I was, like, shocked. I thought this is going to be so much language, it's going to blow me away. I mean, I knew it wasn't that much, obviously, or I wouldn't have watched it. But, okay, let me just tell you how much language. I know, I'm talking all day. 1 S, 1 D, 3 A's, and 1 H. So that's like, what, 6 profanities total? I know, you're shocked. I'm shocked. It was great. There, for sexual content, there's the man seen in a Speedo, there's some cleavage, and there's some sexual terms, and there's one, like, very sultry scene. It's kind of like the beginning of the sex scene, but it's not really that vulgar, so not that bad. Violence or gore, not really any that I can think of. Wine, drug, alcohol, all that stuff. There is wine drinking, but there's no, and there is smoking, but there's no, like, heavy drug use or anything like that. Okay, guys, in the special notes, we have Steve Martin as Rupert is 10 out of 10. Oh my goodness. And if you've seen this movie before, you know that Steve Martin plays, Steve Martin's character is supposed to be pretending to be really stupid and annoying, because that is what Michael Caine and he work out as their con. Michael Caine charms all these women and asks them to marry him. Of course, they all say yes, and they give him a lot of their money, and then they meet his brother Rupert, and they can't stand him, so they break off the engagement, but of course, Michael Caine still gets to keep the dough. It's a great scam, and Steve Martin as Rupert is so wonderful. This is the best part of the movie. If you ask me, it's so hilarious. The writing is so funny, and Steve Martin just crushed it. It's really good. Also in the notes, I don't know if you knew this, this is the remake of the movie Bedtime Story. I really want to see Bedtime Story. Unfortunately, I have not gotten to, but as soon as I can, I'll be watching that one and probably reviewing it, and then I can say, hey, this was better or worse than the original. So anyway, yeah, guys, I enjoyed this movie a lot, and I didn't think I would, just because, I don't know, I'd seen part of it before, and I was like, it's okay, and then I saw the Ruprecht bit, and I loved it, and I was like, I don't know, if the rest of the movie is going to be this funny, but it was very entertaining, and it's good. I watched it actually with my brother, and it's great. Like, it's a great sibling movie, because there's nothing inappropriate, really, and it's just, like, it's funny, and it's like, hey, let's catch up and be stupid, and I don't know. I enjoyed it. We had a lot of fun watching this movie together and just being children again. I don't know. Anyway, guys, would I watch this movie again? I might, actually. I would definitely go YouTube the Ruprecht, little parts, because those, to me, those make me laugh so hard. But I enjoyed this movie, so yes, I would. I thought Michael Caine did great. I really like Michael Caine, so I would watch it. And, Steve Martin, I mean, they really knocked it out of the park, if you ask me. So anyway, guys, I'm giving this movie 3.5 stars out of 5. And as I said, I would probably watch this one again. It'll be a while, but yes, I think it's worth your time at least once. Thank you so much for checking out this review of the 1988 film Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. Have you seen this movie? Did you enjoy it? What did you think about it? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Anyway, guys, thanks so much, and I'll talk to you later.